Ted, you were a famed member of the production line with Gordie Howe and Sid Abel. What made the production line so special?
I do believe that Sid became our father image. Gordie and I were really just away from our mother's apron strings for the first time, and when Sid came back from the Royal Canadian Air Force in the Second World War, he had a wonderful, she's still alive, Gloria, his wife, wonderful Italian lady. We used to go there about 2 times a week for good pasta, and so he became our father image, and we both were gifted with talent. I should say all 3 of us, but we had the young legs. Sid had been away for 3 years in the service, and it worked out well. I wish Sid would have been about 5-10 years younger, because it would have been a wonderful relationship a lot longer.
In 47-48, the production line finished 1-2-3 in the NHL in scoring. Do you ever think that'll happen again with any lines?
I doubt that very much, because the clubs today, hockey's altogether different. In our time, so your viewers will understand, ours was a defensive game. I was with George Armstrong when they had the big press conference in Detroit this week, and George Armstrong, full-blooded Indian, and he was the best hockey player that ever played. In those days, a winger stayed on his wing. And George never went maybe 7 feet off the boards, and he used to just go up and down, up and down. Did a great job, but that was what hockey was back in those days. Today, it's shoot it in, shoot it out.
Ted, you're credited with something that's a long-standing tradition in the NHL now. Whenever a team wins a Stanley Cup, the captain goes and gets it and skates around the rink with it. You were the first to do that. What made you do that?
I always had a real warm feeling towards my people who paid my salary. It wasn't Adams, it wasn't Norris who owned the team. It was the people that sat in those seats, Bruce. And don't ask me why I did it. I was not starting a tradition. I saw it sitting on this table there with a linen tablecloth on it, and was sitting there all alone, and these fans were along the boards, and this was before glass and before they had chicken wire. From the end of the rink where the face-offs for both goaltenders are, all the way down the ice, the fans used to sit with their elbows on the boards. When the play came by them, they'd move back, and as soon as the play went by, they put their elbows back on and put their head outside so they could see what's happening in the corner. And so I saw the cup standing there. I went over, picked it up, went over to the boards, and I just started to go. And my idea was to let them see it close, because they didn't have all these trips and taking it in the summertime to all these different towns and cities. And so I just wanted my fans to see it. Next year they talked about somebody starting a tradition. I didn't know I started a tradition.
Ted, you had the opportunity to discuss today's game with Toledo Walleye today. What did you tell them?
You know, to me, they're playing the greatest game in the world. There isn't a better sport for anybody. If you're a youngster on a football team, a basketball team, if you're 7 foot tall, you're going to play in basketball. Football, you might be on the bench for most of the season. In hockey, they have rules that you got 3 minutes, you got 3 men on a line, you got so many minutes, and the whistle blows, they change lines, and every kid gets an opportunity to play. And no matter how awkward you might be on skates, repetition, do it, you become good. And if you're stumbling around there, you make a pass, you give it to a guy who's a little bit better than you are, he goes in there and he scores a goal, and all of a sudden you have an assist. You really haven't done that much other than advancing the puck. So it gives you a self-confidence that you get.
All right, Ted, thanks for your time. And Matt, next time you're up at Joe Louis Arena, look up in the rafters and you'll see number 7, Ted Lindsay's number retired.